Michigan lost to Wisconsin 35-14. They were down 28-0 at the half. If you know me, grew up in Ann Arbor, huge Michigan fan. Listen, I mean, this was just pathetic. I don't really know how else to say it. To have 2 weeks to have your team ready to come out and play in what I would say was an even opponent. I think Michigan had some of the more talented players, other than obviously Jonathan Taylor. But I mean, beat them at pretty much everything on the field, on paper, that is. And you come out and you just drop an egg like this to go down 28-0. Wisconsin blowing out their opponents in the past 10 quarters of the season so far, and Michigan included in that. What is the problem, you may ask? Is it Harbaugh? Is it Patterson? Who is it? Gaddis? Is it Brown? Who offensive and defensive coordinator, respectively? I mean, I guess it's a group effort, but listen, Shea Patterson has looked scared since the Ohio State game last year, or the team down south, since we played the team down south. Hasn't looked great since. And the offense up until that point looked like it was going to get better. Looked like they were on their way. Bring in Josh Gaddis, former co-offensive coordinator at Alabama. It's great. He's worked with Jalen Hurts, Tua. Like, he's worked under Saban. He knows how to run an offense. And this offense has come out flat the past 2 weeks, pretty much unable to do anything. And, barely escaping Army in double overtime. Just scraping past Middle Tennessee State, who they struggled against in the first overtime. And, I mean, just questionable calls. Even their first drive, huge throw, 68-yard pass to Ronnie Bell from Patterson, set us up, and then you hand the ball off to a fullback on the next play where he fumbles. I mean, I don't understand. I thought Gaddis was here to change everything. He was here to fix the offense. That hasn't happened. Don Brown, he has looked... I said at the end of last year, if he had left at the end of last year for another job, I would not have been mad. And this offense obviously took a hit. No Devin Bush, no Rashawn Gary, no Chase Winovich. That hurt a lot more than I expected it to. Kirk Herbstreit even said he thought this offense, the defense was what would win the game for Michigan this week. And clearly that didn't happen. I mean, Jonathan Taylor ran all over us. I mean, kid's insane. So, I mean, good for him. But, it starts at the top. It starts with Harbaugh. I'm not calling for his head yet. But, oh, man.
Sounds like you're pretty close to calling for his head.
We'll get to that. Nick Baumgardner of The Athletic wrote an awesome article explaining, Jim Harbaugh's Michigan team. It starts with him. He's, they have an identity, and it's one you don't like. It's essentially the title. He wrote, Harbaugh's best road win at Michigan came last year in East Lansing against a 7-6 Michigan State team that played without an offense. The second best, probably a win over 7-6 Penn State team during a 2015 day game. He's had good home wins, to be sure. Michigan has beaten Wisconsin in Ann Arbor twice, one being last year at night, 14-7. The Wolverines have beaten Penn State at home twice and blown them out at home twice. Can't win there, though. Against ranked teams on the road, Harbaugh's 1-6 at Michigan. Michigan State, of course, ranked 24 last year. His teams have been outscored 225-141. So in road games against top 20 teams, he's now 0-6. So Harbaugh, when it comes to teams you're supposed to blow out, teams you're supposed to completely dominate, he does that. Anytime it gets a little bit close to even, or they're a little bit better, there's no chance. He went on to write, national contenders win games like this. Big Ten title contenders win games like this. Michigan generally enters game like this either completely overwhelmed or ultimately on the losing side due to a litany of small errors that highlight a lack of mental focus, organization, and everything in between. I mean, what makes it so frustrating is that this team has the talent to compete. Tariq Black, Nico Collins, Ronnie Bell has come onto the scene. Zach Charbonnet, new running back. Patterson has looked like a good quarterback at times. Oh my God, I'm losing my breath. It's why it's so infuriating, because it seems like whenever it gets a little bit tough, Harbaugh can't get the job done. And Harbaugh even said that they were outcoached, outplayed, outprepared, outschemed, and in a Big Ten opener, and 2 weeks to prepare, and Harbaugh couldn't do it. Michigan plays Rutgers on the Big Ten Network Saturday, noon Eastern. Of course, that's 9 o'clock our time. Hopefully, I mean, I'm hoping things look up. I still believe in this team. I'm still diehard at heart. I mean, it's just the thing with Harbaugh is if they go 8-4 or even 9-3, I don't think Harbaugh has a future here, and I think something might need to change. I'm not there yet, but I mean, if you'll hear it again Monday if Michigan comes out flat against Rutgers. Now, I don't think they will. Rutgers should be a good bounce back opportunity, but their schedule isn't all that favorable either. Excuse me. I mean, okay, Rutgers obviously a little bounce back versus Iowa next, who's looked good. At Illinois, which looked good against Nebraska, so not convinced there. At Penn State, who's looked outstanding, and that's probably going to be their whiteout game, versus Notre Dame, who just proved themselves to the entire country. At Maryland, who I can't really tell yet, but they've looked great at times, and they fall flat against Temple, versus Michigan State, who so far, again, they look even, but that even spells trouble for Michigan. At Indiana, which is never a guarantee. That game will probably go to 3 overtimes. And then versus that team down south against Ryan Day and Justin Fields, a game everyone said they should win. And, I mean, it's tough. This team has the talent to be Big Ten contenders, to be national title contenders. I want to see it. Ann Arbor wants to see it. Michigan fans want to see it. And I'm hoping I don't have the same rant 3 months down the line, or 2 months, I guess, at this point.